Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the As Seen on TV podcast for The Originals, Season 4, Episode 6, Bag of Cobras. I'm your host, Mike, and joining me is Dom, Nikki, and Kim.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
So, interesting episode of The Originals here. Involves Dominic burning in a dumpster.
And then coming back to life.
And then coming back to life. Just, yeah, straight up back to life. So, we had a 1 week break, and I remember 2 weeks ago, one of the things I was talking about when we read the promo for this episode was that the Vampire Diaries universe likes to throw big, fancy, schmancy parties whenever there's a new kind of bad guy coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's lure the baddies out with a fancy party.
I felt we really didn't have a whole lot of the fans party itself, though.
No, there was a lot of side junk going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just point out, for once, Klaus wasn't the person that killed somebody.
Right. This time it was Elijah.
I was super surprised. I was like, wow, Klaus is keeping his shit together. Okay, that's new. Then Elijah goes and kills somebody.
Well, you know, Elijah did confide in, Klaus and them had the little brotherly talk earlier, and Elijah said, she adores you, you don't want her to see you as a monster, talking about Hope, so let me deal with all of our enemies.
But I don't like him becoming a monster.
No. I mean, isn't the plan eventually for Haley and Elijah and Hope to skip town?
Be together, yeah, so they're not going to want him to be the monster either.
I mean, yeah, that was the original plan, but they're just sticking around, I guess, long enough to make sure the Hollow is gone and done with.
Apparently, the Hollow's been around for eons because it's connected to the frickin', what was his name? The Axeman and a bunch of other New Orleans murder sprees and stuff like that, so...
Mm-hmm. There was another one they mentioned after the Axeman, and I can't remember what his name was. But
And it all seems to be tied to Vincent's family.
Mm-hmm. And Vincent's
kept them under control.
Vincent's been doing a good little bit of detective work, tracking it all down. He had all the locations, as far as he could find, that the Hollow popped up throughout history. And it always happened in fours. For whatever reason.
I don't like how they didn't explain why the Mikealsons have one of the pieces of the bones. I mean, maybe it'll be later, but I mean, we know that it's possibly that this is this creature's body, or like its physical form, or it's a spirit. So to bring the spirit back, it needs its body. So that's what it's been searching for, is its bones. Well, so if the Mikealsons have a piece of the bone, why do you have a piece of the bone? Did you acquire it from somewhere else, or are you involved? Little did you know, I'm actually involved in the spirit.
Well, I mean, my first... Because, Esther and Dahlia didn't get their powers from nowhere. It's obviously a genetic thing, because, it passed down to Freya, and it passed down to Hope in such a genetics of sort. So, what about grandmother, or great-grandmother, or any other ancestor that's way, way, way back?
What if the Hollows... What if the Hollow is actually Henrik? The other Mikealson brother. The one that died to the plague. He would have been a witch.
Yeah.
He would have.
It's really the only Mikealson that we don't have very much on.
Wait, was it the plague, or was he the one killed by the werewolves accidentally?
There was... I think Henrik was werewolves. The other one, there was another brother who died of the plague. He was one born after Freya, wasn't he?
No, Henrik was the only other
Oh, okay.
Mikealson.
Somebody died from the werewolves.
I don't remember, but that would be.
What did I know of?
I'm Googling.
Everybody's Googling except for me. I'm not touching anything.
Not Googling. Hands up.
I'm innocent, I swear.
I mean, that would be interesting, because I don't know how I feel about that. Like, it would be an interesting twist, for sure, but I mean...
I feel like the Hollow is mythological.
I was hoping it was mythological, but they're leaning towards the it's an old, dead, angry witch route. With this one.
And Henrik died as a child. Would he...
Child body, old spirit, angry. I mean, we did find out that this is, yes, indeed,
There was another
again.
one, because there was Henrik, and then there was another one. I don't have a name. There's a question mark.
Question marks. And that's the one I'm guessing who died.
Henrik has 6 siblings consisting of 3 older brothers, Finn, Elijah, Cole, a maternal older half-brother named Niklaus, and 2 older sisters, Freya and Rebecca.
I'm showing. Where'd you find that? Because I have another one where there's another child.
I'm on the Vampire Diaries Wikia.
But it would be interesting. I mean, they've kind of done this before in Season 2 with the mysterious blonde girl in the insane asylum. Hey, looks, this is your long-lost, supposedly dead sister Freya. So,
Well, maybe that's what it was. Wasn't Freya the one that was supposed to have been taken by the plague? Isn't that
Yes,
what we were
that's
originally
what it
told?
was.
Okay,
that's
yeah.
what
Okay.
Esther
So then-
told Michael.
Michael, so
Yeah,
he
okay,
wouldn't
so
go on some crusade.
It says here that Henrik and Niklaus went to see the werewolves transform, but he was brutally attacked and killed by one.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good plan.
Okay. Settled. It was
Settled.
Freya who was supposedly taken by the plague,
but Henrik was in fact a witch. So
well, they all are.
right.
So
All right, then.
When they came to the world from the Eastern European village in 10th century after a plague killed their very first and then only child.
Oh.
Oh. All right, then.
I have
Yeah, they have
multiple
a lot of
sources.
kids.
Yeah. I want to say it's something, but I'm not gonna.
I was
So-
liking the mythological route, though.
Yeah.
Like something scarier than another
Not-
dead witch.
Another Mikealson.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Something scarier than sirens.
Than sirens or...
And the
yeah.
devil?
To be fair,
He
the
was a-
devil was more alluring than he was scary.
He was a
This is
pretty
true.
lame devil.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Like, I liked, the character as an antagonist, but not as the devil.
Yep. And that's why they ended the series the way they did. So, but yeah, I don't think they're gonna go another like devil route with this. It feels more like and they say it's an ancient spirit. Yeah, well, but there are some ancient spirits that are mythological as well. So I'm hoping they go down that road because as much as it would be interesting to see Henrik come back, he would still just be a child, wouldn't he? He wouldn't be grown.
Yes.
So I don't know how that dynamic would work with the current situation of the Mikealson's family.
Yeah, I have no idea either. That would be interesting. But, again, all Vincent's fault. All his fault. Because getting rid of the ancestors, they were pretty much the only thing preventing the Hollow from fully coming back. Or so we were told.
There's always another way.
Oh, yeah.
And by the end of this season, we're gonna see it.
Probably. I know.
What
What
the
the
hell
fuck?
was that voice?
That is me emphasizing that shows with things like this, it's actually very predictable, even though they try to twist and turn and try to make you think of other things.
Am I the only one who
The
got a
end, the end story, the end of the story is pretty much exactly what I said. They're going to find another way to fix the hollow so that
Fix
it
it?
never can come back. Fix it so
I
that it
didn't
can
know
never
the hollow
come
was
back.
broken.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, everybody who's that angry is a little bit broken inside.
Deep. Anyway, yeah. Vincent's fault is what I was getting at. I was going to go somewhere else, but your voice completely distracted me. I got a female
She got
Mr.
possessed.
I got a female Mr. Rogers out of her voice for whatever reason.
I thought the hollow was invading the podcast.
For
That'd
a
be
second
interesting.
there. That would be interesting. So we find out the Hollow is looking for, or so the main characters assume, is looking for 4 objects. Its body parts. One of which Haley now possesses. Because Haley went on a whole find out what the fuck happened to my parents trip with Freya's help. And she actually saw the scene of her
Mother and father.
yep, getting murderfied by Mary's mother,
Jackson.
by Mary's husband,
Husband, yeah, Jackson's
Yeah,
grandfather.
Jackson's grandfather. And he was stark raving mad.
Yeah, well, the hollow will do that to you, I guess.
Mhm. So
Slightly.
I'm going to get slightly, yes, just a bit. Only a little bit. I'm going to guess that people knew about this thing and they scattered its pieces to the 4 corners of the earth or the 4 corners of the Louisiana Bayou. Because why not? And we're just keeping it safe because Haley's mom and dad, they literally died protecting it, protecting a lower jawbone.
Yeah, I thought that was a little creepy. The
Yeah.
jawbone was in the teddy bear.
That was very creepy.
Just a little creepy. I mean, that's where I would keep jawbones if I was hiding them.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
Who
that's
would
great to
suspect
know.
that they would give their child a scary object?
I mean, who would expect a hard object to be in a teddy bear? But
the child when it knocks its head against the freaking teddy bear and it starts crying.
now, exactly, the teddy bear, they could have been throwing it at each other, the child and maybe one of their friends, and then, it clocks one of them in the head, and it's an old, ancient piece of skull, and who knows where that thing's been, it's going to probably cut them, and they're going to get an infection, and that's a terrible place to hide a jawbone.
To be fair, jawbones aren't that heavy.
True.
Especially when they're
So-
old and they don't
So if it
have any
knocks them in the
substance
head, it's not going to do anything.
It's not gonna knock them out, no, but
No.
it's still gonna be surprising. Be like, oh, this soft teddy bear is coming in my head. Oh, that hurt a lot more than it should have. Kids cry at that
No,
kind
it's
of
all
stuff.
padded in there. It would add a little extra weight to the bear. That's really
I
about
guess.
it.
Then the kid starts investigating, pulling the teddy bear apart. Mommy, there's teeth in my teddy bear.
Was I wrong when I saw a gold tooth, like a gold-plated bit of a tooth fall out, or am I?
It was not the robber from Home Alone. No.
No.
It was not Harry.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah. Okay. Awkward. Moving on.
Moving on. So yeah, Vincent has allied himself with mostly Elijah, but for the most part the Mikealsons, even though he can't fucking stand them right now. Because, as he put it, something's going after kids in my city. We all want it gone, But he talks with Klaus and does a nice little tarot card reading thing to try to reveal, try is the operative word, to reveal something about, their enemy in their midst. And, Klaus is pretty much fed up with the bullshit, and it's like, look, what's the common factor between all of these cards? Well, I see a snake there, and there's a snake there, and that sword has a snake wrapped around it. And what do you know, this 4th one has a snake.
So it's definitely a metaphor for bunny rabbits.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
Cute, fluffy,
bunny
gray
rabbit.
bunny rabbits.
Follow the white rabbit object.
So, what mythological creatures that have a strong spiritual essence exist in the world that we know of?
You're gonna have to be more specific. A lot.
No, I don't have to be. Serpent-like spiritual creatures or
They usually
mythological
snakes
beings.
and a lot of like
I'm trying to
Like-
physically say they have serpent-like features or they are a serpent.
Sirens?
like dragons and
It-
sea
I mean,
monsters are
if
all
it's-
maybe they're knocking it all the way back and going back to Eden, and it's a snake in the tree, with
Well,
the
yeah.
apple.
maybe they're going like Norse Viking lore, and it's Jormungandr, the big friggin' world worm or whatever.
Well, that makes sense because the sigil is a snake eating itself.
Yeah.
That isn't that the symbol for him?
I honestly don't know. It
So
could
you're
be.
thinking we're going like super like
No.
god maybe? A god?
I thought it would
mean,
be
this
cool,
universe,
but
the Vampire Diaries universe, we're still calling it that because it started off as that, hasn't
that.
covered a god-like figure ever.
no, they haven't.
I mean, we've had Ketsaya, we've had Silas, but they're not gods. They started off as humans.
That is his symbol.
It
Snake
is.
eating itself.
So, I mean, if we're gonna go the Viking route, say the Mikealsons have had a piece of his body for as long as they've had. They derive from Vikings. It makes sense. There's a lot of connections going back to that.
Yeah, the serpent was the son of Loki, god of mischief, and that was his symbol. Well,
A lot of things were the son of Loki.
this is a good point because Loki was everywhere.
And
Just like Zeus.
Loki
Yep.
was pretty much a more mischievous Zeus.
Yeah.
His pants were never on. And he slept with a goat. And there was a 6-legged horse that was birthed. And a lot
And a
of
snake,
other
apparently.
fun shit. And a snake, apparently. But, we're talking about this, theorizing it, and this is great for the last few episodes, but now, I mean, I can't get away from this. It's just an old dead witch.
Well, that's what they're making it seem like because they don't know anything better than that.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to look past an old mad witch because anything other than that, it seems like it'd be over their heads, even working together.
Well, the snake ploy works out because Vincent's, down in the floor of the party, which, by the way, I love the premise for the party. It's like, Marcel, your benevolent ruler, has allied with us, and we've invited you to this lovely party. However, he's late. Nobody's seen him.
Sure.
Nobody's seen him in a couple days, but he's late to the party. He'll be here though. Totally gonna be here later. Not locked up with a cloaking spell in the tunnels below the city. No, he's just late. Anyway, Vincent's walking around the party, and he's just doing his whole witchy thing, and lo and behold, here's a witch on the other side of the room with a snake wrapped around his shoulders. Well, mystically wrapped around his shoulders.
So it wasn't a hallucination.
No, it was kind of a hallucination, because I don't think Dominic was really walking around the party with a snake wrapped around his shoulders. That'd
No.
draw way too much fucking attention.
I thought it was just a design on his shirt.
Was it a design on his shirt?
No, it was it was like a white one of the albino pythons. I
Like-
am pretty sure.
No, Dom's right, though. Vincent saw something on Dominic, and then, that whole whew thing happened, and he sees one of those albino pythons wrapped around his neck.
Maybe
Yeah,
he's
but
just seeing
the whole
snakes
time-
everywhere.
No, I'm saying the entire time you see this guy through the whole episode, he has a pattern on his shirt that looks like a snake.
It's snakes. It's little snakes. It's over and over again. It's snakes all the way down. It is.
Okay.
It's-
I noticed that first before I noticed it before it did the little thing. You saw the snake in his hand. You
Yeah,
can see the snake
and
on his
it's
chest.
a white pattern of little
Okay.
snakes, I guess.
This is symbolic for a
And
snake,
the little
I guess.
snakes or whatever, it makes up like a bigger snake. All the little ones.
It's like a big
are-
little yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So
so
it
they...
looked like it wrapped around because it came around the back of his neck, and it came down over his shoulder, and a little bit down his chest. So it actually wrapped around him, but it was a design in the shirt, like a pattern.
So that's interesting. The reason why that symbol is his symbol is because snake became so big that he could encompass the earth and eat his own tail.
Hence the name World Eater.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whose world is Eden?
It's pretty big.
Hmm.
So, on the other side of this, we have Sophia, who...
These pictures make me uncomfortable. Anyway, I'm done.
Go ahead, Nikki. I said the word Sophia, and you were just no. Why no?
I no, like her character, she's just, I can't stand her. She's one of those characters that walked in the room and I didn't even need to hear her speak, and I was like, I hate you.
There's no...
I don't like your face.
No, to be fair, in the 7 years we've known each other, I've learned this about her. Every show, there is that one character who walks in the room and she's like, I hate them. Like, just irrationally
What I laugh
hates them.
about is all of the shows that me and Nikki are on together, most of them, we both hate the same people.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
we agree on a lot of things, me and Kim.
So, do you have a reason yet why you hate her? Words. Hate her.
She's incredibly way too freaking clingy.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that it was pointed out.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been like that since we met her. Like, the first time we see her in Marcel's, his loft, his apartment, his freaking condo, I don't even know what he lives in right now, but it's freaking ridiculous.
Okay.
But ever since she walked in there, you see her that first time, you can tell, like, she's one of those business partners that went a little bit too far, and he
Groupie.
really he has a connection with her, but her connection, she feels a much stronger connection with him. Like, it's mostly one-sided. Mostly.
Well, as he put it, while, being threatened to be tortured by Klaus, was, she's a mercenary. She works for the highest bidder. It was mostly business. A little bit of pleasure thrown in.
Yeah, and she's completely on the I have to save him kind of route, like, because she is just so infatuated. Like,
Yeah, for her, I think it was a wee bit of business and a whole lot of pleasure.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah.
She, that whole little dance with Klaus, she's got a thorn bracelet wrapped around her wrist. Like, yeah, by the way, this is one of the only things that can kill you. And I'm, holding it up against your skin right now.
I don't know why she would reveal that. That's so stupid. That is like one of those typical villain moves where it's like a monologue deal.
Now, maybe I didn't, but maybe somehow I subconsciously zoned out at this part of the episode or something, because I didn't get it, the whole thing. Like, you're dancing with the guy you want to kill. I mean, yeah, he makes a great point. You kill me, you'll never find Marcel. And, hey, maybe you will. You're good at she says she's good at finding things. But it'll take you forever to break the spells. But, then he offers the whole, help me find whoever's supporting the Hollow, and I release Marcel tonight. Well, first I let you live, then I let him go. And she went with it. Oh yeah, it was, reveal who else has these weapons, who's working for the Hollow.
I mean, she knows that Marcel isn't too fond of the Hollow either, so eventually, if Marcel were out, and even if Klaus was out of the picture, Marcel and Vincent would be working together to get rid of the Hollow, so eventually, she knows that she'd be doing this in time.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's just, the whole thing's like, I'm gonna kill you. No, you're not, you'll never find Marcel. Okay, I'll agree to turn over all these weapons, and then you'll let him go. Deal. Turns over all the
Can't believe
weapons,
she fell
does all
into
that
this.
stuff, and he's just like, I'm gonna let him go when the Hollow's gone. And you could just see that look in Klaus's eyes, adding the maybe at the end of that. If I feel like it.
Yeah.
And she got nowhere. She, the end of last episode 2 weeks ago, that was kind of a big, oh shit, here we go again with, something that can kill them. That's a pretty powerful weapon for a vampire like her to have.
For as much as she's heard about the Mikealsons, about Klaus, about Elijah, she still doesn't know what they're capable of, so when she's not working with anybody, when she's working alone, she's not going to know what the hell's going to happen. If she had somebody like Marcel saying, no, don't fall for it, she would have been like, all right, I'm stabbing you.
Yeah,
She
probably.
doesn't got a lot of brains.
No.
No.
She's the hired work.
She's the hired eye candy.
Yeah, she does what she's told. And she wasn't being told anything this episode. She was going off of what she thought
Seems
she
like
was
she's
good.
actually the one in charge.
Like she's
Go on.
telling Marcel what to do.
Yeah, that's the way things have come across to me. Seems like Marcel's not the one. Like Marcel's too
Whipped.
swoony over
Swooned.
her. Yeah. It's almost like she's actually the one telling him what to do. It's just the way it's come across to me.
Up to this episode where it was her doing all the footwork.
I could see it.
It seems like she's doing the footwork, but it's more of if you want something done right, do it yourself kind of deal. And she's using Marcel for more, like he doesn't have anything over her. It's the other way around.
Maybe. I mean,
I could see that.
he is the most powerful being right now on this show, aside from the Hollow. She can't kill him. So even if she had something over him or he had something over her, she couldn't come back at him and kill him because she could just... Marcel is just going to be like, poof, and like flick her away.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Their dynamic is really... Maybe that's why I don't like her so much, because I don't know what the hell is going on between them.
All right. Maybe that's it. I don't know. She's just
Being
been...
uncertain is making me anxious, or like,
I don't know. She's just been kind of flat for me, since the season started. But I don't know.
I mean,
go ahead.
I don't know if she's gonna last this season, but if she does, I really hope they go more in depth and like say her history, like give her a little bit more background so we can actually learn to like her.
Oh, they did give us a little bit of that.
Not enough.
Not enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely don't think enough.
No. I didn't feel any different after this episode about her.
She's still kind of flat.
Yeah.
Okay then. Where was I going? Josh kind of figures out where Marcel is being kept. General idea. Down walking through those tunnels, and he smells sandalwood, which means nothing to us. But apparently Davina told him if you smell sandalwood, there's a good chance something's cloaked there. Like if you smell sandalwood and there is no sandalwood.
Okay.
So
Davina's still sticking around, even if it's just mentions.
yeah. Yeah, even if it's just mentions.
And the interesting part, because I'm looking sandalwood right now, because I was like, I've never heard of sandalwood. But apparently it keeps its fragrance for decades.
It's kind of like cedar.
Cedar does.
If you store stuff in a cedar chest and then pull it out, it keeps the cedar smell for years. I remember my mom stored one of my favorite blankets in her cedarwood chest, and I was like, you know what, I want it. So I took it out, and I couldn't sleep with it because it stank so bad.
Yeah.
And it stank a really long time, even after washes. So
cedar's one of those. That's one of those
very
smells that you just
strong
can't
smell.
get rid of. But
Yep.
I mean, that's why bugs don't like it. They say put a little cedar plank in your closet, and it'll keep away the spiders and the moths and all the other critters.
Yeah,
Which-
producing any kind of commercially valuable fragrance oil with sandal leaf takes a minimum of the plant being 15 years of age.
yeah,
It's crazy.
I'm guessing it's an oil in it or something.
it's gotta
Yeah.
be.
Something fat based, because those scents are usually. Bleh. So yeah, as we mentioned earlier, Elijah was the one doing the killing. Like, just brings Dominic bloody out to the whole party. Like, this is someone consorting with the Hollow. And it's like, okay, everybody knows at the party knows what the Hollow is. Awesome. So Yeah, none of that's going to be tolerated, so I'm going to kill him in front of all of you and just drop his body off of here.
Hmm.
I mean, it's a message.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If you're messing with the Hollow, this is your demise. You're going to die at the hands of Elijah Mikealson.
But I love Klaus's points. Like, what does the Hollow want? Why don't we ask someone? We can't because Dominic's corpse is out back burning in the dumpster.
So you
And
think?
you know what? Roles would have been reversed a couple seasons ago. It would have been
Oh,
Elijah
that-
telling Klaus.
Every other season, Vampire Diaries and the originals, both shows, every other season it would have been Elijah yelling that at Klaus. But,
That's why it was so surprising. Like I was
Yeah.
like,
I found it actually quite funny.
role reversal.
But I mean, that just shows you, like, we talked about Klaus's growth as a character before, and again, it just goes to show like how much he has grown since we first met him.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, it
then
still has a lot
how,
to do with it.
and then also, yeah, it does have a lot to do with Hope, but even like through the originals, with everything that they've gone through, Klaus has grown. Even like in the first season when he was dealing with Haley, he was relentless in the very beginning, but as it came to the end when Hope was finally born, he was looking at things from a completely different perspective. And then we see Elijah starting to like fall ever since his mother took him in and put him in that like dream state where he had the red door and, you know, he came out and he was massacring left, right, and center. And, you know, we saw his obsessive compulsive disorder and stuff with his suits, and it became really, really, really like apparent that he had some mental issues, and I don't think he's recovered from all of them.
He most certainly hasn't.
No.
There's that one, there's that one suit at a place on the rack in his brain. And it's just, yeah. Always one step away from driving him nuts.
Yep.
So one other thing that grew this episode was the loving bond between Freya and Keelan.
I'm actually...
That jealousy, did you see the jealous eyes?
Oh, yeah.
When she first walked into the bar, it was like, I'm like, whoa.
It's like my girl's talking to someone, not me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah?
But I'm so glad that I noticed the first little signs of like a... I mean, Keelan was being held captive by Freya, so it's almost like a Stockholm thing. But
Yeah.
even after Freya lets her go, Keelan's like, I get this, right? This is cool. I got it. You know, whatever. She's given me a new lease, a new lease on life, basically, because of the ring and
Like,
just
I understand her motivation.
it's becoming really cute though. But it's not. I don't know if the rest of the Mikealsons are aware that.
No, they're
Freya
doing
has-
involved in other shit, so I definitely don't think they're aware yet.
No, yeah, you're right. There's just a lot of other shit going on. But I feel like when they find out, like, Klaus is going to be taken aback. Elijah, not so much, but Klaus, a lot so.
I don't think any of them are going to really react like,
There's going to be a reaction.
Okay.
There's going to be at least a bit of a reaction because it's still... People still think same-sex relationships are taboo in a lot of places. And, there's still going to be a reaction. It's not going to be like, oh my god, never in this land. It's going to be like, oh, whoa, wow, okay.
I think, yeah, you know what, you're right. Elijah's reaction is going to be the, if you're happy, sister, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Klaus might have the mild shock face.
Yeah. Well, they're still actually still learning about Freya, like getting to know her, because she's only been around for, what, a season and a half now? And then they had that big old sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right, then. I was going to go somewhere else and my brain blanked.
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that is pretty much it. We covered everything. Alright, well, maybe it'll come to me. It wasn't important, I guess. But next episode is called High Water and a Devil's Daughter. And this is an unusually short synopsis for the originals. But When it's discovered that the Hollow's latest servant is on the loose, Freya places a protection spell on the compound, forcing Klaus, Haley, and Hope to remain inside. Meanwhile, Elijah takes matters into his own hands.
Oh boy.
Didn't he already do that though?
Yeah, literally.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
He's not done yet.
No, apparently he's not done yet.
After all the talk of him telling Klaus to keep calm and not cause a scene and all this stuff, he's the one ripping hearts out, throwing people over balconies. It's like,
Yeah.
I have a strong feeling the Halo, the Halo, the Hollow has more on him than we think he'd think. I think right now it's like dormant, and we're not seeing that it's trying to get a hold of Elijah as well. And 'cause didn't he have an issue with it before? Didn't he have this came to him before? So I think it's getting at him again, and I think we're not seeing it yet, but I think what's going on here is that Elijah is being
Taken
turned
over.
as well.
Like the influence of the Hollow being nearby is influencing him and
Yeah.
his decision making.
Yeah, because he's the total different person going on right now. He's the one. I mean, I understand maybe he's going a little, but he's not being Elijah, and that's
No.
why I'm really wondering if something else is at play here.
I mean, the Hollow doesn't really care which one of them it gets. Yeah, it wants Klaus and Marcel, but hey, Elijah would be a nice, huge boost of power to it.
Any of the originals would be amazing to have on its docket to drain power from. It does. I don't think it has a limit. It's just going to be like, I want it all. I want all the power I can get.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it makes sense for it to try and get Elijah as well.
It just seemed too different,
Mhm.
and now we're seeing that it's going to go even farther. I think he's going to go over the edge, and I think it's going to try to get him, and I think Haley's going to be the one that has to pull him back.
All right, I can dig it. But if there's nothing else, I think that's our show.
I'm just trying to there's the synopsis, and then they say high water and the devil's daughter. I'm trying to think if it's like if they're talking about a certain character at this point, because in the synopsis it doesn't
no, it's
reveal
not
any of
the
that.
Devils, it's a Devils.
A devil's daughter,
They're
yeah.
clearly talking about Klaus.
They're not talking about the devil as the devil. They're talking about in a persona.
Yeah,
As a
they're talking about
person,
Klaus's
evil person
daughter.
being the devil. Yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
talking about hope.
Yeah, I mean, Klaus has at many points in history been a devil. Hell, he's probably been called the devil on a few occasions.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Over a
Yeah.
1,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
All
right.
Yeah, it was a good episode. It was slow paced, but you know what? I'm fine with that. I mean, that changed when Elijah, again, don't cause a scene, brother. Don't cause a scene. I'm gonna cause the scene. End the party real quick.
And Klaus's face, like, what the fuck did you just do?
Like,
Stole my thunder, bitch.
like, why? That's a me move, and now I have to be angry at you for it. It's
Well,
like,
Klaus is good at being angry, so it's okay.
that's true.
But still, they're in very reverse
They are.
places at that point, and it's
Their roles are completely reversed. Klaus has to be the good brother now.
Yeah, that's just creepy. That's gonna creep everybody out. So, that's our show. Dom, where can they find you?
Let me down below at Phenomedom, PHENOMEDOM.
Nikki, where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter, not HUFFITYPUFFITY, at Lady Venom 24. The whole episode. LADYVENOM 24. That's where you can find me on Twitter.
Kim, where can they find you?
not Lady Venom. That's funny that we didn't know this. Still Team Elijah. HUFFITYPUFFITY.
You can find me on Twitter at Villagrin. You can find all of us on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, MySpace, and YouTube at ASOTV Podcast. You can follow us at those places for some more podcasts or some of your favorite TV shows, movies, and games. Thank you all for watching.
Boop, boop, ba-doop.
I have no response to that.
You're bad.
Like,
That's my response.
Okay.